Hey everyone, welcome to your Pluto in Aquarius forecast. My name is Whitney and this is with the messenger. Okay, so lately I've been doing Astro and Tarot videos, timestamps included for all signs, just to try to condense everything. That's in the description box down below. If you don't know how to cast your birth chart, there's also in the description box below a tutorial on how to do that with a little bit of facts, just so that you keep up with the astrology. Trust me, Pluto in Aquarius, astrology is the way to go. You need to be learning astrology. Okay. All right. So let's do some facts about it, and then we're going to get into your individual signs. I'll try not to make this too long. This is a 20-year long transit. Pluto has been dipping in and out of Aquarius since last year, but now it's in Aquarius for good. So even its retrogrades are still going to be in the sign of Aquarius. When you think about Aquarius, you think about the 11th house in astrology, which has to do with, like, a wide group of people, communicating online, technology, high buildings, skyscrapers. Let that pass. Community, like a wide community, not like your third house, which is a small community, but like people who network with one another. Let me see if I have anything else here in my notes for 11th house. Innovation, right? That's the thinking outside the box type energy with Pluto in Aquarius. People that you associate with, or people that you would call your allies or your benefactor, people who somehow we're trying to create some type of benefit for you. It also has to do with like charity and humanitarianism stuff, team building, long-term goals, future thinking, so like future generations, like really outside the box type energy. So with Pluto in Aquarius, transformations are happening around these themes. I want you to look back to December 19th or 20th of 2020, because that's when Saturn and Jupiter conjunct at the 0-degree marker of Aquarius, which was the great initiation for what the Pluto in Aquarius era would be like for you. So what played out in your Aquarius house following then? And if you don't know what your Aquarius house is, I will go through examples for each sign in the all signs portion, just to give you a bit of an idea. For me personally, I'm a Scorpio rising, right? And that happened in my 4th house, that Saturn Jupiter conjunction. And what played out for me in the months that followed was the start of my lineage. Okay, I got pregnant with my first child, and after that I invested into a land and a home, so these are ways that these things could play out for you. I was going to talk about the chart that kicked off the day of this, but honestly, I'm not going to. I think that makes more sense for individual signs, and I don't want this to be too long, so I'm not going to do that. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down by the elements and just give a general overview, and then we're going to go into individual signs. So air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, this is happening in your Dharma houses. The Dharma houses has to do with your purpose in life, things that inspire you to move, to get up in the morning, to want to make things happen, make shift happen, and what gives you, that overall meaning. Okay, so this is houses 1, 5, and 9 respectively. Earth signs, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. This is happening in your financial houses, or also what is known as your art houses, okay? And this is about the meaning of your existence and what you take, material things, okay? Finances, money, assets that you make, what you take of those and how you played out for meaning to your life. So let's say, for example, the 6th house, the meaning that you take in being of service to others, where you work for others. The 10th house, the meaning in which you create some type of image for yourself. Or the 2nd house, the money that you collect and how you use it to have fun and give meaning to what it is that you create. Like, because what you take your money and do with it, you're giving meaning to that, what it means to you. It translates into that, right? Fire signs, this is happening in your relational houses. They're what is called your karma houses in Vedic astrology. And this is about your desire to connect with others. So 3rd house, 7th house, and 11th house. Fire signs, your Aries, Leo, Sag, okay? So this is about wanting to make friends in your neighborhood, wanting to commune with your brothers and sisters or your friends, your close friends, that is. You want to want partnerships, business partnerships. And then at the 11th house, a wider, you know, a team, some type of networking online, connecting with others. Water signs, this is happening in your moksha houses, okay? Which is about spiritual liberation, release, letting go, healing, spirituality, okay? So those are houses 4, 8, and 12. And water signs, you are Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, okay? So for January 3rd, of course, we will do other readings next year. So I'm just giving you a little snapshot. For January 3rd, we have Pluto opposite Mars, Pluto in Aquarius, and retrograde Mars in Leo. Pluto and Mars coming together in a position, it definitely gives power struggles. But personally, I feel because Pluto is a generational planet, which I forgot to mention, Pluto is a generational planet because it takes so long to get from one sign to the next. Then I feel there's power in numbers, okay? There's more people who make up a part of a Pluto sign. So I think that gives power to the people. Versus Leo energy, Leo being ruled by the sun. Sun normally has to do with like people who are royalty or famous or rich or the rulers, you know. So there's going to be a great divide there. Of course, this is just the start of things, okay? These transits are going to play out over 20 years. And then on January 21st, we have the Pluto Cazimi. Okay, so that's the Sun and Pluto meeting up in the sign of Aquarius. And again, it's hitting that 0 degree, I believe it's the 0 degree marker. Let me just verify. No, 1 degree marker. So that's an Aries degree. And that is actually, yeah, that 1 degree marker. So that's an Aries degree. So that's now, this is about initiation. Okay, getting ready to start something. So the people getting ready to start something. I would say the Pluto and Scorpio generation, which are millennials, will feel this the most. This is squaring that energy, right? Fixed signs, 2 fixed signs. And so it's really asking them to get in that Martian energy and start moving, starting to put change in motion, starting to make shift happen. Okay. And then for February and March, there is a possibility. I like in that movie Love Jones when he said romance is a possibility of the thing. Romance for me giving me Venusian energy, but I say there's a possibility happen because there's a lot of sextiles that's going to happen between planets in Aries and Pluto in Aquarius. Okay, so your Aries and Aquarius houses, there's a lot of sextile that brings forth some type of opportunity. Of course, it's what you do with it that will say if something comes to fruition or not. All right, so that's February and March. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. And let's start off with the first sign, Aries. This is happening in your 11th house. This is for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Okay, now if you have any planets, especially your Sun, Moon, and Rising as well, between 0 to 4 degrees, you feel this immediately, and you feel what I was referring to just now about that possibility of the thing. Okay, because then this means that there's a sextile that's going to happen between you and Pluto in your 11th house. And so this for me says, well, what part of the collective, what part of the collective energy is going to bring way for you to have some type of major shift in your life over the next 20 years? Will you be called to lead a team? Will your innovative ideas lead some collective, become some type of breakthrough benchmarker over the next 20 years? We could look to Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rises to have breakthrough ideas that they put forward to the collective. We could look to Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising to be the ones who will lead. And it makes more sense because we have Saturn and Neptune that also moves into the sign of Aries. Okay, so Aries, going forward, you all are major playmakers in what is happening in the world. Other ways this could play out for you over the next 20 years, you get more recognition and acknowledgement, whereas maybe before you weren't feeling it. Then this could start to change for you, and especially with Saturn there, though, expect that means a lot of work coming down the pipeline for you. Definitely you will be thinking outside the box, and I feel like you will be collaborating with more people, so then you'll be exposed to more ideas and more views. So of course that will put you in a position where you can then think outside the box. Your long-term goals and aspirations, gains from your career, these things will be increasing with Pluto there. Now, how does that immediate opposition from Mars that you'll be feeling? Well, that would be in your 5th house and 11th house. I do feel, because the 5th house has to do with our inner child, and the 5th house also has to do with what it is that we create, there is some type of challenge there in you creating what you want to create and still allowing yourself to be a part of something wider than you. Okay, it's like, yes, you have some type of unconventional idea, but how do you allow that idea to come into the public and translate into something that they could understand? Or even sometimes we have, because Saturn right now in your 12th house in Pisces and Neptune, it should be getting rid of those self-sabotaging tendencies and patterns and imposter syndrome. Those things should be being worked through, right? But if they're not really worked through, when Saturn moves into your 1st house, you could still kind of feel that energy moving a little bit. Because then with Pluto there in your 1st house, it's saying, okay, this is something grand, this is something that could change. But then you're amongst other people and you're like, will I really make a difference? Can I really make a difference? You might be the one who you're championing causes for people in places that are possibly being taken advantage of. You may become more philanthropic. I hope I said that right. When it comes to social media and technology, you could be using those to your benefit to excel yourself. Okay, so that's the possibility there between Aquarius and the Aries house. And of course, I said with that Pluto and Mars, it could be ideas that you have. And when it comes to other people, how do you put that forth in a way where it becomes cohesive, where other people, they have no problem being a part of your idea? It's like the you versus them type energy. Okay, it doesn't have to be bad. It's just because Mars is so impulsive and abrasive, it could be the way that you push that into the collective energy. It's not readily accepted. Okay, and because Pluto is in Aquarius, there could be times when other people have to be the leader and you have to take a step back, but that doesn't mean what you have to contribute that it's useless. Okay, so let's pull 2 cards for you. Yeah, this was at the bottom of the deck here, that impulsive Martian energy. Aries, please, 2 cards for Pluto and Aquarius for the year 2024 for them, please. We're just going to do this for 2024, the rest of this year. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. oh my gosh, look at this. What I was saying about those self-sabotaging patterns while Saturn is still there in your 12th house and Neptune. Okay, this is supposed to be your energy, the Emperor. Okay, you're supposed to be on your throne. You're supposed to know who you are, what it is that you want to accomplish. You're supposed to be very grounded, rooted, and secure in yourself. But it's hard for you to do that because of this energy. Now, this energy tends to come from things that we've experienced. Okay, and experienced possibly multiple times, or even if it's one, but it was so grand that you didn't have the support through it, you didn't have the affirmation or the reassurance that you need through it, so much so that it kind of bound you. Okay, so with Pluto in Aquarius for the rest of this year, and especially since it is opposing for the rest of this year Mars, until Mars gets into Cancer, that's next year. This is, I feel, something that you went through in your childhood, or at least as it relates to your creativity, okay? That makes it very hard for you to feel like you could be a part of a collective, okay? Or that you could lead. There's some type of betrayal, some type of wound here, some type of hurt here that you're kind of stuck to, and that is preventing you from being in this energy, okay? So if I were you, I would try to tend to that while Pluto is at its 0-degree mark in Aquarius, okay? Because you're going to need to be a part of the collective. Let's move on to Taurus. Taurus, this is happening in your 10th house. So you're an earth sign. This is happening in your financial houses. More than anything else, you're being put on the stage, okay? Like Aries, because this happened at the top of the sky for you in your chart. First Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising, especially Taurus risings and suns. The sun, because sun has to do with your career and your purpose. How could this play out for you? Well, you're going to feel discomfort for some time because this energy squares, right? And so this is something new. Perhaps you're getting a certain level of power that you're not used to, or you have some type of boss that comes in that is requiring more of you because they do see potential in you, but they may not outright say it, okay? Or they could be another generation of people that you're now forced to work with, and it could feel, at least for the beginning, it could feel like a bit of discomfort because, especially for Taurus energy, you all are a bit relaxed, laid back, but I do feel Pluto in Aquarius is ushering you to make some movements when it comes to your career, especially because Pluto is a planet that has to do with generational wealth, major transformations. And so where you might want to just kick back, no, you have to tap into your sister sign Scorpio and transform with this energy. So let's talk about the two, I think, major aspects that needs to be discussed for at least the next 4 months as it relates to Pluto. We have Pluto opposite Mars. So that's Pluto in your 4th house. Sorry, Pluto in your 10th house and Mars in your 4th house. 4th house is your home, your family, your land and property, okay? So there's an opposition that is happening in between the two. And I feel for this specifically for you all, it's because you are leveling up in your career, in your public life, that tensions could start to easily happen at home. Or if you were the one who were kind of like the glue that kept things together at home, with your absence, then chaos start to ensue at home for you. Now, for some of you all, the 10th house does also have to do with stuff like your status, or what you're known as, or what you're known by. So if you're married, you're known as somebody who is married. If you're someone who owns a home or a business, that is all in the 10th house, okay? So there could be certain things that are being cut away or changed, right? Those don't have to be cut away, could even be changed in your 4th house, and that changes things for you in your 10th house. So let's say, for example, a major change, because Mars is change energy, initiation energy. Let's say you become a home owner or you sell a home. That's something that is changing in the 10th house for you, okay? And either way, it's supposed to bring generational wealth for you, right? But of course, it comes with change first. Now, the next thing is the possibility between your Aquarius and your Aries house. So that would be between your 12th house and your 10th house. Maybe some of you have an opportunity to work for a foreign company, or to move and go work for a foreign company, okay? And that would make sense because then your 10th house then gets affected, Sorry, your fourth house then get affected, because maybe you sell your home so that you could move and go and live somewhere else, or maybe you just move and your home becomes somewhere else. Okay, there is a trine between your 12th house and your fourth house, so that could be taking up residence in a foreign place. That could be you getting rid, because the 12th house is like loss too, so that could be you getting rid of something that it becomes a loss, getting rid of something in terms of homeland and property. Okay, so all these little shifts, they definitely could happen for you. Let me see if there's anything else from the 12th house that I'm missing. Oh, they're in terms of what you're known by as well. There could be shifts in the way that things happen for you with whatever it is that you inherited from your family. I think that's the best way I could put it, because you know, we could inherit material things, but we could also inherit like spiritual things and emotional and mental baggages too. And so because the 12th house is involved there, as well as that 10th house, perhaps there could have been things that kept you stuck, hidden, that affected your public image as well, that you're releasing and letting go, or at least even if it's not something that maybe other people outwardly judge you for, maybe it was something that you judge yourself for. Okay, and now it's time for you to rise above it. Or even if when it comes to family, they were keeping you small in a box, when it comes to that 4th and a 10th house opposition, from your 10th house perspective, you are elevating above that, Taurus. Okay, some of you could become fathers. 10th house is the house of the father. Unfortunately, does this energy mean that for some of you a father figure could pass away? Yeah, during that Mars Pluto opposition, maybe there is a possibility. Okay, if you want to become a business owner, again with Pluto there in your 10th house, there's a possibility of that. I do feel like there's many of you who will be stepping into positions of leadership. Your work ethic, of course, is going to have to change. The way that you lead people, especially since this is in Aquarius, the way that you lead people or work with others is definitely also going to have to change. Okay, your duties, your responsibilities, those are always also going to have to change. All right, Taurus, for the remainder of the year when it comes to this Pluto and Aquarius story, please, anything we have for them. So some of you, think back to 2020, what changed in your career after that, or early 2021, what changed after that Saturn and Jupiter conjunction? I personally know Taurus rising, and he got a promotion. Okay, he got promotion twice actually after that. So 10 of Cups here, that's the family. And we also have, one second, let me see if I could. It's a nudity card, and I really don't want any issues from YouTube with this. So I'm trying to, I didn't want to have to do this with my cards, but honestly, it's kind of ridiculous to try to have to hold them up. So, all right, here we go. Okay, her little crop top. So some of you, like I said, some of you may become fathers. For my male Taurus rising, I feel that's a major possibility for some of you all for sure. But I feel that more than anything else, you're a step closer to having what you never had growing up. Okay, like this is because the 10 of Cups is here, and that's like wish fulfillment, that's emotional fulfillment. I feel that goes back to the 4th house energy of, you know, what you never experienced in your family, things that you gain from your family that you need to let go of. And because you let go of those things, then it brings, like, you let go of those past things, you heal them, you release them with this star card energy, then this brings forth for you some type of, yeah, Knight of Pentacles here. Even if this is you getting some type of promotion at work, okay, or you getting some type of land or property, some type of opportunity here that brings forth happiness for you, or at least sets the foundation. Okay, sets the foundation for the life that you want. Even if this is you getting married and that being your status that changes, you get that happy home, that happy life. All right, let's move to Geminis. Okay, Gemini, so this energy trines you. I'm a Gemini sun and moon myself, so I'm looking forward to this. Okay, maybe it helps with my Pluto in Scorpio and my Scorpio rising. Maybe it balances it out a little bit. But for Gemini suns and moon, like I said, this is happening in your Dharma houses. For you specifically, this is happening in your 9th house, which has to do with your spiritual beliefs, your higher level of educations, traveling, long distance travel. It also has to do with legalities, okay? Writing, publishing, mentors and gurus. So this could definitely be a time where you come into contact with people who changes things for you personal life. Natally, I have 2 planets in my 9th house, right? And I've always in my life, because I have that natally in my birth chart, in my life I've always come across people who have been mentors to me, who have guided me on my path, and I'm very grateful for that. So Gemini suns and moon, even if you don't natally have anything in your 9th house, having Pluto there now, because Pluto is so transformative, the people that you're going to come in contact with, they're going to change things for you. You're going to meet people who embodies Pluto energy. It's up to you whether you resist it or not, and how long that takes. I mean, this is a whole 20-year long cycle. So if you don't initially get it, okay, hopefully down the line you do, but it would be beneficial for you if you get it from the get-go. Okay, so some of you could be changing the way that you think. Okay, I always say when it comes to 9th house placements, people who have that natally, reprogramming their mind is so beneficial, especially when they were younger. They weren't fed, right? They didn't hear words of affirmation. They weren't reassured. They weren't fed positive things. So for you, while Pluto is in Aquarius, you all are going to be tapping into subliminals, okay? Probably hypnosis, whatever it takes to reprogram your mind. You will be changing your belief system. Some of you could be marrying to different cultures, moving away to foreign lands, going to study somewhere else, going to study something that nobody else in your family has studied before. Definitely, I feel more than anything else, your mind will be expanding. Okay, whether through travel or whether through people that you meet, your mind is going to be expanding. Some of you will become teachers. Okay, could this be a time when your moral values are challenged? Yeah. Okay, and maybe some of you may realize the way that you have been doing things, that won't fly anymore, because your mind is growing. You are evolving. When you have major transits in your 1st house, 5th house, and 9th house, it's your identity and your mind that is changing. Who you are as a person is changing. Okay, some of you could get really inspired now and find what your purpose is. You could be learning new languages. I haven't really traveled anywhere farther than Mexico. But I do have from my rising sign perspective at least, another planet that is going to transit my natal 9th house. And so I am hoping personally that I get to travel into the Caribbean over at least that transit of that one for a year. But then also from my sun and moon, I'll have another 9th house transit. So if you know astrology, you know, double confirmation like that could mean, yes, that something is really happening. So your spirituality could be changing. Some of you could be changing religions. Some of you could go on pilgrimages. Some of you could be learning astrology. This would be a great time. I for sure have been expanding my mind for the past, I'll say 2 years, and I'm only going to dig deeper into it. Okay, so there's also about seeking meaning in life. So of course, some of you could go on a sabbatical. Some of you could be going, I do also feel this could be a dark night of the soul type house, only because sometimes the energy of a transit through this house makes you just question everything. Okay, and if you're not really rooted, like what you believed in, it didn't have real firm foundation, this could be like, oh, you completely release it. All right. Now, in terms of the next 4 months and the transits that I'm looking at, for you, there's an opposition that's going to happen between your ninth house and your third house. Leo energy, Mars transiting Leo in your third house, and then Pluto and Aquarius in your ninth house. So maybe there is an issue to travel. Third house is short distance travel. Ninth house is long distance travel. Maybe you want to go further than you. Maybe you've traveled enough short distance around where you live, and you want to go further. You want to go out of it. This could be where you have clashing of belief system with the people in your immediate vicinity. This could also be something as simple as you want to pursue some type of knowledge, right, from the third house, because the third house could be pursuing some type of education or something like that, but like that's more like a certification. And then you realize, no, this won't cut it. I want to go deeper than this. I want to go higher than this. Oppositions don't always have to be bad. Oppositions could just bring some type of change. You learn something, and then you get the drive, the inspiration to say, hey, I want to go further. Okay. So if there is any clashing, it could just simply be around belief systems, language. Some of you all, over the next 20 years, you could come into some form of legal battles, right? Because the ninth house does also have to do with legal affairs. So when those Mars Pluto oppositions happen, could this be where you're suing a neighbor is suing you? Yeah, there's a potential to that, for that to happen, for sure. Third house also has to do with our siblings, okay, or our cousins. So you could have clashes with them because you're changing, you're thinking outside the box. Your belief system is changing, so you could have clashes with them because they're staying the same and you're growing. That could be a possibility for sure. Now, in terms of the Aries Aquarius potential, that's happening more around February, March of next year. I feel for you, because that is your 11th house and your 9th house. You're gonna meet more like-minded people. There's a potential for that. The gurus, the benefactors, because the mentors and the gurus from the 9th house, and then 11th house also has to do with like benefactors. It could also have to do with education. Maybe some of you pursue an online education, but you meet more people through it. Some of you learn more online through technology, and social media that expands your mind. If you want to pursue something like teaching, or I don't know, whatever, you publish a book or something, you could create gains from your 11th house for this. And I feel more than anything else, you all could really just be finding your soul tribe. Okay. All right. Gemini. For this year, remainder of this year, how will Pluto and Aquarius affect them? We have the Six of Cups. And we have the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, this is revision. The Six of Cups could have to do with like nostalgia and memories. Things that were gifted to us from our childhood. You're going back over those things. Because you're becoming more of who you're meant to be. With this energy right here, the Emperor energy. But sometimes in the process of becoming who we're meant to be, we have to rid ourselves of things that are not for us. Thoughts that were given to us are planted in us, ideas, belief systems. Okay, so let me get one more on the Seven of Pentacles, because there's something that I'm thinking, but something that I'm sensing, but I just want to make sure. Seven of Pentacles. Yeah. Yep. Let me just show you what's at the bottom of the deck here. Three of Cups and Ace of Cups. So this is definitely meeting people who you're meant to be around. But this is what we got to clarify. The Everything is Fine card. But this is basically like the Ten of Swords. The pain, hurt that you've experienced. But it's okay, because it's redirecting you to the people that you're meant to be with. Okay, and the reason why I decided to look for that is because of that Pluto Mars opposition that will be happening for you all over the next few months. The people who are closest to you right now, in the next few months, they might not be there. But you need to know everything is fine, okay? Even though those people are being pulled, some of those people will be pulled away or they can't go with you where you are. You have to know that it doesn't matter. You're going to meet the people who think like you, okay? And it's not as simple as just wanting to be surrounded by people who think like us. No. I feel it more so has to do with people whose values and morals aligns with us, okay? Because if you're around people who, let's say they value money, but you value love, okay, the values, they're not there, and there's gonna clash. So it's people who have more values like you. All right, let's move on to Cancer. All right, Cancer, this is happening in your 8th house. You might want to talk to some Geminis because they had a Pluto transit in their 8th house since 2008 until yesterday. Until part of today. I'm recording this on the 19th of November. Pluto is comfortable in the 8th house, I will say that much, okay? Because the 8th house is about that transformation, that death and rebirth. And that's in the shadows, whatever is secretive, whatever is in the subconscious, sort of, whatever is taboo, okay, that's where Pluto thrives, okay? So I can speak from experience as a Gemini in the moon with, at least from my moon sign perspective, which the moon in Vedic astrology is important too. This is tropical, but still, these systems, they interplay with each other. Pluto in the 8th house definitely had me doing some dark night of the soul, okay? So Cancers, for you all, expect to, yeah, I was just gonna say, expect to go through some power struggles with others. The 8th house does have to do with things that are shared, whether it's resources or responsibilities, things that you share with other people. So expect to go through some power struggles as it relates to that. Expect to go through many dark night of the soul. You are Cancer, so you already should be tapped into your intuition. But if you're not, Pluto in Aquarius, Pluto there in your 8th house will definitely tap you into those intuitive abilities. Pluto is the god of the underworld, so your dreams, they could become very insightful, okay? Of course, the 8th house does have to do with like crises, okay, and challenges. That's Pluto energy, transformational type energy. It also has to do with sudden changes, tower-like energy. I already said things that are hidden, so like things that are secretive. So you could be uncovering a lot of secrets, or the bearer of people's secrets. People may share their secrets with you, or secrets that become known changes your life for some time. Things like inheritances, mortgages, loans, taxes, those can all become a part of your story for the next 20 years. Okay, and they change your life in one way or the other. You could definitely go through some deep spiritual healing. You just may not like how it feels at first. Being able, again, I feel as Cancer, you should already have this, but definitely being able to see through things, to investigate, getting deeper into the occult, experiencing deeper sexual intimacy, that is a thing too, okay? Now, as it relates to the opposition that's going to happen between Pluto and Mars, your 2nd house and 11th house, and that's what I'm saying, at least for the next 4 months, power struggles. That's the first thing that I wanted to see, right? But power struggles with things that you share with others, whether it's responsibilities or finances. Now, because it's from the 2nd house to the 8th house, I definitely feel finances could be a key factor here, but responsibilities as well could be it. So you may go through issues when it comes to money that you want to get from a bank or that you have with a bank, or inheritances. Maybe there's something that you have but someone else could be disputing whether it should be for you or not, especially since while we still have the South Node there in your 4th house, okay? So it could be around land, home, and property. You do have the possibility of a thing between your Aquarius and your Aries house, so that would be between your 8th house and your 10th house, because Aries is there in your 10th house. For you, I feel it could be what you take from your 8th house and make known for yourself, or make for yourself in the 10th house, because the 10th house has to do with our status or image. Okay, so it's whatever you receive through that 8th house, because I feel that the 8th house is a house of reception, is a house of give and take, right? But whatever it is that you receive through that 8th house, could this be you receive something? Well, if you divorce someone or you have a child with someone, you receive some type of alimony or child support through your 8th house. How do you take that money and build yourself up and invest that money for yourself? Okay. If you go through some type of spiritual evolution through the 8th house, then how do you use that to transform your image in the 10th house? If you, and this is just me giving an example, if you experience some type of loss in your 8th house, because Pluto there in the 8th house Pluto is a house of death. I mean, the 8th house is a house of death, and then you'll have Pluto transit in there too. Could you experience loved ones passing away? Yes. Could they leave something for you? Yes. Okay, and it's what you take and what you make of that. Okay. 8th house also has to do with marital bonds, surprisingly. So could some of you become hitched? Yes, and then you make a name for yourself, and then you know the resources that you and your partner pool together, who you are as their wife or their husband, the doors that opens for you, and what you take and do with it. Okay, so that's that possibility there. Some of you could even be known as somebody with your spiritual evolution, tapping into the occult and stuff like that through your 8th house. Then you could be known, right? Your public image, what you do for your career, 10th house could change, and you could be known as someone who does that and you generate income from it. That's a possibility. Of course, you're gonna have to put yourself out there with that 10th house energy. All right, let's see for the remainder of the year. Pluto and Aquarius for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. All right. Ooh, I see the 8 of Swords. The Magician. Okay, I definitely feel this is asking you to tap into your occult bag, okay? Or at least the resources that you receive through the 8th house from anyone. Because that's what the magician is. They take all the resources and tools that they have to manifest, to make what it is that they want. Wow. I feel this confirms what I was saying. Because this is Aries energy, your 10th house energy here, okay? It's you taking what you're given here and empowering yourself through it. This could also be a masculine figure here that blesses you with something, okay? You're gonna have to get out of this mental prison though, because I feel, of course, the more power we're given, the more that we're given. For some people, if they're not really secure in themselves, then that could bring up imposter syndrome. That could bring up reasons to self-sabotage. The human beings are just wired that way. All right, Leo. This is going to be a long reading. Leos, this is happening in your 7th house, angular house for you, just like Taurus. So this is major changes. The people that you're going to meet in for the next 20 years are going to embody Pluto's energy. Pluto's energy isn't all bad, isn't all good. There's a balance between the two, and it's what you take and make of it. Essentially, these people are going to put you in death and rebirth type cycles. Some of these people are going to put you in positions where you can earn. Some of these people may try to put you in situations where they take from you. Okay, so your one-to-one connections, your partnerships could be changing. Think back to 2020. What were your relationships like? What were your business partnerships like? Were there any type of contracts that you were trying to start to initiate? These things, they could be coming back now. Okay, there could be power struggles that you start to experience in one-to-one partnerships or with business partnerships. Some of you may start counseling. Okay, because the seventh house does have to do with like mediation. Okay, so if you're in a relationship, you don't want it to end, you may try to mediate the situation. It does have to do with like legal agreements. So some of you may come into some agreements that could potentially power you up. Okay, you have to think about your interest in this as well as the other person's interest in this, and find a balance between the two, just because it is that seventh house energy, and that seventh house energy has to do with that balance. Some of you may get married, some of you may enter into a long-term committed relationship that really transforms your life. Now there is a opposition that is immediately happening between Pluto and Mars being your first house, Pluto being in your seventh house. Temper yourself. Okay, temper yourself, because I always feel like Pluto in this situation is the one with the more power in the long run, at least. So you may win the battle, but they're gonna win the war if you be impulsive. All right, so for the rest of the month and January 3rd, definitely look to how other people are challenging you in a way where you might feel like you want to get out of character, or you might feel like, okay, this is pushing me in the direction of a new beginning. And it's okay to go and take that new beginning, but just don't lose your self-respect in the process. Okay, don't lose who you are in the process. And some of you, like I said, some of them could be challenging you for the better. All right, and it's you having to cut out certain ideas and mindsets about yourself that needs to change for your betterment. Stop being impulsive. Okay, now in terms of the possibility of the thing between your Aquarius and Aries house, this is between your ninth house, Aries there in your ninth house, and Aquarius there in your seventh house. And this is what I'm saying, because the ninth house has to do with our mind and the way that we think, and it being something that is foreign, something that is other than what we're used to. Someone could be challenging you for this. Okay, some of you maybe you may move for a partner. Okay, some of you, like I said, you may get married or you may get divorced, because the ninth house does have to do with marriage. Okay, especially third long-term third partnerships and commitment and marriage. So let's see for the rest of the year what Pluto and Aquarius has for you all. Leo signs, please. Pluto and Aquarius for Leo sign for the remainder of the year. Yeah, that seventh house energy, there it comes out, justice. Okay, this could be legalities that some of you all go through, right? Having to dispute some type of contract or agreement that you have with someone else, even if it is in relation to, let's say for example, a child. All right, Two of Wands, there's a choice that you're going to have to make here. And the Four of Swords, you, like I said, you just got to temper yourself through this decision with this Four of Swords. Take a step back, think things through. Okay, because there has to be balance, fairness, and justice in this situation. Yeah, some of you could be leaving somewhere, or someone could be leaving, but there's someone in this situation here that literally I feel has the upper hand in a way that they deserve it. I just have to say that they deserve it. Okay, give me one card on the Two of Wands, whether it's you or them, but because Mars is in your first house, I don't know. Queen of Cups. This could have to do with like a child. You know, this could be a mother, so maybe like a child, or it could be a spouse. Or this could be just you choosing to love and care for yourself here in a situation and allowing something to end and starting a new beginning. Okay, let's move on. We are at Virgos. Gosh, I'm just halfway through this thing. Virgos, this is happening in your sixth house of work. Okay, being of service to others. So some of you may definitely see how you need to show up more for others. You're also going to have to take care of your health. Maybe you may institute new fitness routines. Okay, definitely this also has to do with like learning life lessons. Okay, the sixth house also has to do with a bit of conflict. Okay, like you could experience that, because the sixth house could have to do with like karmic debt, actual debt, like you owing someone money. It has to do with our enemies. having to make sacrifices. Okay, and like I said, even litigation, so having to go to court too. If you have another placement that has to do with law, then you could definitely expect yourself to have to go through these types of things. And if you're an employer, you know, your relationship with your employee, or just your relationship that you have with your employer, dealing with competitiveness from other people, being disciplined. Now, you naturally rule the 6th house, okay? So these things shouldn't be really foreign to you, but because Pluto is there, there's an extra oomph that comes along with it. Now, this immediately puts a opposition to Mars in your 12th house. Unfortunately, the 12th house is the house of loss. It is the house of unexpected expenses. It is the house also of hidden enemies. So you all could start to encounter enemies, having to deal with litigation, having to deal with the 12th house also has to do with hospitalization. So some of you, unfortunately, you could encounter these things, but I feel ultimately it's going to be all for your betterment. Okay, Pluto wants to transform you. Pluto wants to make you better. And then when it comes to the possibility of the thing between your Aquarius and your Aries house, well, this is going to be between your 6th house and your... Where is Aries for you? Where is Aries for Virgo? Your 8th house. Ooh, definitely some of you all could have to do with like surgery and healing the body. That could be a thing for some of you all for sure. But because it's between your 6th house and your 8th house, it could be battles over shared resources. In a negative aspect, yes, it could be battle over shared resources. The 8th house also has to do with like crises too and challenges. Okay, so you might feel like this is not the luckiest time for you all. The South Node will also, starting January, be going through your 1st house. So when the South Node is there, it's like a breakdown of existing structures as you know it, as in your mind, in your life on a whole, especially for the rising signs. So Virgos, love to you all. It's not gonna be easy, but it's to make you better. Okay, have right support systems around you. Some of you all start to do, if you're not working out, do it. It's gonna help you as another facet of keeping you grounded, keeping you centered, keeping you healthy while you navigate these challenges. What I also suggest that you go through some form of therapy and healing if you didn't already start it with Aries in your, with that North Node in your and Chiron in your 8th house. Yeah, you need to start that, okay? Because I'm telling you, you're gonna go through a lot of life shifts and changes. Like your day-to-day is not gonna look the same because Pluto is there in your 6th house. So try to create structure where you can, and I feel like a health routine definitely could help you with that, okay? And you might find yourself wanting to champion other people's causes and show up and be of service to them, and that's exactly what Pluto would want you to do, okay? So for the remainder of the year, please, Pluto in Aquarius for Virgos. I have to stop this video and start a second one. We have the Page of Wands. This is about starting something, being inspired. And 2 of Pentacles, but then having to make some type of balancing act type decisions. The 6th house does have to do with our daily routines, and sometimes what could push us to some type of burnout. You need to bring joy back into your life. Some of you may have been working through most. With this Page of Wands, I feel like there's a possibility of you getting some type of good news. And then you having to say, okay, now I just won't move on to the next thing. Let me sit and let me enjoy this, okay? Well, let's confirm. Page of Wands. The King of Cups, yeah. There's some type of new beginning, maybe even a contract. Some of you all would be getting, it's going to be good news, but I feel like there's a need to tend to your emotional body here. Something is out of balance. Some of you could even maybe experiencing hormonal imbalances. One more and 2 of Pentacles. Oh boy, this is just telling me there's a push for some type of new start here. These fire energies, okay? Some type of initiation for you. But again, temperance, a need for balance. A need for balance. So maybe you start something new, or you already have. What this is, spirit's reminder for the remainder of this day, or at least try to create some form of balance in it. Okay? Alright, let me stop here and start the other one. Your neighborhood could be changing, where you live could be changing, whether that be you moving or just things evolving in the neighborhood that you live. Your relationship with your siblings could be changing. You could be using the media to your benefit now, tapping into that. You could be thinking differently. Your thought processes could definitely be shifting. Things that you learn, or the way that you learn, could be changing. The way that you write and express yourself could be changing. The way that you socialize with others could be changing. Okay, now if we think about the opposition that is happening here, I don't think it's going to be too bad for you all, because you guys, one is a sextile, one is a trine here. Like for example, Pluto sextiles you, but Mars in Leo is going to trine you. So this would be Pluto in your 3rd house, trining Mars in your 9th house. Nope. Yes, Pluto in your 3rd house, trining Mars in your 9th house is the opposition. Sorry, Pluto in your 3rd house, that sextiles you, and then Mars in your 9th house, that trines you. But there's an opposition that's happening between the 3rd and 9th house here. Your belief system is changing, and that changes the way that you interact with others. So from the 3rd house, the way that you're communicating, because of your mindset shifting, people may be impulsive in the 3rd house, okay? Or you yourself could be in a space where what you're communicating to others, because of your new mindset, it may not come off as tactful just yet. Like you may not have a handle just yet on how you're doing this new thought process. Okay, so think about that. And then there is the possibility of the thing between your 5th house and your 9th house. You could meet a foreigner or someone of another cultural background or ethnicity that you initiate some type of romantic situation with. That's a possibility. There could be, for some of you, maybe legalities. No. Well, unless this is something that you want. Okay, unless this is something that you want, because it's a sextile, so it's a possibility of the thing. And the 5th house does have to do with our children. 9th house could do with court matters. Okay, so maybe some of you all could conceive a child. That's a possibility. Or you know, there could be you try to do some type of shared custody arrangement, maybe, for some of you. I don't know why that came up. Writing projects, that's a possibility. Or some type of creative content that you want to put out. Meeting someone from like the 9th house perspective, that could be some type of mentor or guru for you, for some type of hobby or passion of yours, okay, that speaks to your inner child. Some of you could create a really core memory for your child. That's a possibility, because this is happening in your 5th house, that Aries energy. And sorry, this is wrong. I said this wrong. You're a Sagittarius, so it's your 3rd house and 5th house. It's not entirely wrong. Like I said, you're writing projects, some type of creative content that you want to put out there. This is sorry, I'm doing this over an hour now. But definitely some type of writing project, maybe some type of creative content that you want to put out there. There's a possibility between that sextile there between those 2 houses over the next few months, starting like February to like maybe May. and that really gets going, that there's a potential there for you. If you maybe want to learn a new language, if you maybe want to learn a new skill for some type of hobby you have, that potential is there. The potential to travel with a child, short distance travel, or a romantic partner, that is also there. Okay, that would be a good time to plan some trips. And that's what I was saying with the core memories for the child. I do feel that you could make some core memories for a child. Okay. Remainder of the year, though, for Sagittarius. I have the Four of Swords here. And the Three of Cups. So this could be healing that is happening amongst you and some people. Maybe, but it's the bottom of the deck is more so giving me moving away from toxic connections. So perhaps you isolate yourself and then you find the people that's meant to be around you. Or there are people that these are people that you realize you have to step away from and heal from, you know. That's Pluto in your third house. The way that you relate to others, that's changing. No, I take it back. These are people that you're gonna be moving away from. Sorry. High Priestess and the Ten of Swords. This is giving me hidden enemy. Okay, people betraying you. I'm sorry, Sagittarius. I am so sorry. There's a secret here. Tell me more. Hierophant and the High Priestess. Well, some of you are going to be meeting like-minded people nonetheless. Okay, this is spiritual evolution type energy here, and we even have the Six of Cups. So for some of you, perhaps this could be, if it's not someone in your local community that you end up dating, that you have some type of past life connection with, then it definitely could be, you know, Jupiter is there transiting your 7th house. So perhaps you meet someone, whether it's from a foreign culture or not, that really changes things for you or your immediate community. Wow. In your neighborhood, that is, like at a bar or at a gym, something like that. That makes the world a difference. But why is the Four of Swords here? So it could be maybe while you heal from, you know, somebody or some people that you realize they're not meant to be a part of your life, then you then gravitate around at least one person, if not multiple, that is meant to be around you. Yeah, this is moving away from these type of people who bring you pain and hurt, Sagittarius. That's good. So of you could have, you know, maybe done that healing process, and now your people are coming in. All right, Capricorn. Capricorn, finances are changing for you in a beneficial way. The way that you make money is going to change. The assets that you own, I feel this could be where you really set up yourself for years to come about, especially if you do it the right way, you know, that you could have some type of breakthrough in your finances. And then, you know, we have Jupiter and Gemini there in your 6th house too. So it could be through work that you gain something, through maybe litigation that you gain something. And it's what you do with it. It's because you're going to acquire things. You're going to own things. You're going to get resources from your family with Pluto transiting your 2nd house. Your material positions, they're going to increase. But you also have to remember, there's a death and rebirth energy about Pluto. So just like you get something, it could be taken away. So I really feel, yeah, it's how you plan and invest that's going to make the world a difference in the long run for you, as to whether or not you're really setting up yourself and your lineage for generational wealth. Okay. Sorry. Your food style, what you eat, your nutrition, it could be changing. People could be coming, Capricorns could become vegans, or they could be coming out of veganism. Their personal values could be changing. These two cards keep wanting to show. Their spending habits could be changing, okay? Because it may be more so now that because Pluto is there, you're doing things with more depth to it now. No more shallowness, okay? So the way you value yourself at a core level is changing. So what you put in your body, what you spend money on, It's all going to be a reflection of yourself, but of course you're going to have to go through that death and rebirth change and process if you're not already where you're, I feel, supposed to be on your spiritual journey. Okay. All right. In terms of opposition, this is happening in your 2nd and 8th house. So could be power struggles that you experience around shared resources and shared responsibilities with another. Some of you may be looking towards a bank to get some type of money to invest long term. It might not be easy to come across in the beginning. And then let's talk about the possibility of the thing. Okay, your 2nd house and your 4th house, there's a sextile that's going to happen between the two. So some of you may be trying to acquire land, acquire property, or sell them. Okay, and like I said, February, March, even April, those are very good times for you to pursue those things because of the sextile that is happening then. Okay, so if those are things that you want, you should really pursue home ownership, land ownership, or sale of these things, or anything that relates to the family and money next year, early next year, February to April. All right, for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please. For this year, though, the remainder of this year, how is Pluto in Aquarius going to influence them? All right, that's way too much. The 5 of Swords and the Queen of Swords. So this could definitely have to do with shared resources. This could be that Pluto-Mars opposition for you all. This doesn't look good. This doesn't look good. This gives me someone who has to stand their ground here in a situation. Dealing with someone who's very petty, tit for tat type energy. Let's get more on that. Tell me more about this 5 of Swords. The need to set boundaries. I mean, like I said, your values will be changing with Pluto there in your 2nd house, how you value yourself. And so naturally, if you're around people who maybe they didn't value you in the first place and weren't giving you what it is that you deserve, they were offered their selfish gains. Well, there's a challenge, yeah, to just discard wanting to show. Well, it jumped out, so I'm gonna take it. Oh yeah, this could be a sibling, a mother, a lover. Person could be a Leo, doesn't have to be, but I just feel like this is that opposition between Mars and Pluto. That opposition from Mars in your 11th house, I'm sorry, in your 8th house, the person that you share something with, and them wanting to maybe have their own way. Ooh, Capricorn, this is your energy with the Devil here and the 5 of Swords. The Devil clarified the 5 of Swords, but I just feel this is more so saying, you know, you were in a toxic bind with someone here. And you don't want to be in that toxic band with that person anymore. Because it could have been a situation where that person was getting more than they were given. And they were all for themselves. And now that is changing for you. Now you want justice. Now you want equity. Now you want what is fair. And what is balanced. Give me the outcome of this. I feel this is Spirit guiding you, saying you need to stand your ground. We have the Star card here. Let's clarify this, okay? And the Star card is Pluto energy, Pluto in Aquarius energy. So I would definitely say, especially even with this, ooh, and this, ooh, and this, okay? This is all about self-love, the way you value yourself, okay? Protecting yourself here with the 4 of Pentacles. And then a 7 of Wands, standing your ground, basically. That may mean certain foundations in your life have to crumble. But this is divinely guided, okay? So, Aquarius, I took too long to get to you. Aquarius, this is happening in your 1st house. So you're the one that's becoming empowered over the next 20 years. You're the one who is looking, who people are going to look to guide the collective. The way that you've been thinking since birth, that's the way the collective mindset is shifting now. Now there's an immediate opposition that is happening, okay? from your 7th house. So this new you, the way that you think, the way that you express yourself, the way that you dress, the way that you do your hair, your personal strengths, okay, the way that you influence others, that is all changing. Your overall life experience is changing. You are going to embody Pluto's energy, and that may bring about power struggles with others, especially while Mars is in Leo and you experience that opposition. Every time Mars is in Leo for the next 20 years, expect trials and tribulations in your one-to-one partnerships with others, right? Don't have to necessarily be a romantic relationship, but it could definitely be whatever one-to-one interpersonal relationship that you have, or people that openly don't like you, trying to overpower you. But Pluto is in your 1st house. The power is on your side. I natally have Pluto in my 1st house. I deal with this type of energy since birth. Okay, but the older you're getting, the more that you know who you are and you embody Pluto's energy, the more you're going to face that opposition from others. So just prepare yourself for it, know who you are, know yourself, know your worth, and be prepared to stand in that if you know that you're not harming anyone. And definitely look to how you influence others, because you don't want to be too dominating either. Okay, now, so the next so that opposition starts immediately, and then on January 3rd it's exact. Okay, we also have the possibility of the thing between Aquarius and Aries. So this is between your 1st house and your 3rd house. Okay, 3rd house having to do with our siblings or community, and I feel it's have to do with the role that you play in influencing others. Okay, some of you maybe may learn to drive. I know that means I'm basic, but yes, some of you may learn to drive. Some of you may get your driver's license. Okay, because the 3rd house does have to do with the car. Some of you may start to go on more short distance trips that you're gonna go to places that transform the way that you think. You're gonna go to places where perhaps is maybe calling out to your soul. Okay, that you just love going to these places. Like this is your 1st time going, but you want to come back because you feel some type of resonance being there. Okay, it fires you up. So the way that you communicate is going to change. Some of you may start to write. Okay, the 3rd house also have to do with writing, the way we express ourselves. What else? Oh, your mental process, the way you think, that's definitely changing. Okay, what you pursue intellectually, the projects that you work on, those things are all coming to some sort of change. So Pluto in Aquarius, you all are expected to be the innovators. You and Aries definitely expected to be the innovators. The remainder of the year, Pluto in Aquarius for Aquarius signs, please. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be so inspired, and that inspiration is going to move you to places. Knight of Pentacles, wow, with the 9 of Cups. Something is going to come into you all this year, before the year is out. That's going to help you to accomplish something that you really wanted here. Like I said, you're going to get inspired about it. We even have the 8 of Cups here. So it's going to move you to somewhere that makes you happier. The Sun card here. Okay. It's gonna start to put into play the pieces of what is meant for you. Think back to December 2020 and what was happening for you all then. Because could be another unfoldment of that story for you all. But I do believe there's something that is coming in for you all here. It may have been slow before, but it's coming in fast now, and it's definitely going to shift where you are, probably currently settling or don't want to be. One more please on the Knight of Pentacles. Wow, yeah, you're getting freedom here. We saw the 8 of Cups, the 9 of Cups is here, and now we have the 10 of Cups. So this is emotional fulfillment here. You're being set free from something here that has been holding you back. So let's say, for example, maybe you weren't dating and you want to date someone, and this could be it. This could be where love comes in, and you feel like your heart chakra has been busted wide open. Okay, that's just a simple example. Pisces, this is happening in your 12th house. Wow. Ask Aries, not Aries, no, ask Aquarius what it was like with Capricorn in their 12th house since 2008. They have been going through breaking down old thoughts, patterns, subconscious programming to allow them to be empowered for Pluto to move into their first house. Okay, so for you all, a lot of this will be hidden, but it's going to be powerful, because then that changes the way that you interact with each other. Like Scorpio and Cancer, could this be a time where you see people that you love pass away? Is a possibility? Yes, because these are moksha houses about release and liberation. This could be where you let go of a lot of things. Okay, you lose a lot of things. Pluto is about never-ending transformation, death and rebirth type energy. Okay, so you could be becoming a new you so much. Now Saturn is currently in your first house, so that should be maturing you. Yeah, this mental prison, the subconscious programming, these are things that you're going to have to let go of while Pluto is there in your 12th house. Some of you could move. Pluto in your 12th house could send you somewhere far away from where your place of birth that is transformational for you. Emperor, you're changing, you are evolving. Yeah, there's so much truths that you're going to see there with Pluto in your 12th house. Your spiritual gifts, you could have a lot of dreams and downloads too. Okay, just always remember who you are, because this with Pluto in your 12th house for this year, you could back and forth between I'm an empowered person, I feel so small, you know. So you have to remember the truth of who you are and the strength that lies within you for those moments where maybe there's just a part of you that is dying off and not the whole of you. Like just a mindset, an old you, an old way of belief. And it's like, okay, it's not, you're not a bad egg. There's not all of you that is bad. There's maybe just a facet of you that needs to go through some type of change and evolution so that you can step into this, right? Tell me more about the Eight of Swords. The High Priestess, yeah, subconsciously. Okay, and it's about stepping into your self-confidence. Okay, so like I said, you're gonna, for the rest of this year, you're gonna teeter between, yeah, I am empowered, I got this, and oh my god, I do not have this. Am I a bad person? Is there something wrong with me? No. Okay, and Saturn is right there trying to get you to do its bidding and create structures and discipline in your life. All right, this was a long ass video, excuse my French, but if you're still here, do like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, be blessed.